On Global TV News Express, former Kogi State Governor Yaya Bello remanded in EFCC custody. In business, more than 20 states to government benefits from approved $500 million World Bank loan. On the foreign scene, UK police arrest 6 linked to proscribed Kurdish group. And in sports, Amorim eyeing 2 Super Eagles strikers for Manchester United transfer. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the News Express on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Queen Agaba. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nigecomsat. Former Governor of Kogi State, Yaya Bello, has been remanded in the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, following his arraignment for alleged money laundering allegations. Justice Marian Aneni remanded Bello and adjourned the matter to December 3rd for ruling after the lawyers in the matter argued the bail application. The defense counsel, Joseph Daudu, senior advocate of Nigeria, asked the court to grant bail to the former governor as the alleged offenses were bailable. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and First Lady Senator Oluremi Tinubu has departed for France on a state visit at the invitation of French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife, Brigitte Macron. The president will be welcomed at the historic 350-year-old French Military Museum, Les Invalides, and the Palais des Elysées by the Macrons for a series of ceremonial events which will lead into bilateral discussions. This was contained in a post made on Wednesday, November 27th, by the senior special assistant to the president on social media, Olusegun Dada. The mayor of Uroboland and head of the Association of Urobo Mayoral Family Crown, Eshanekbe Israel, has commended President Bola Tinubu and the chief executive officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Engineer Mele Kyari, for the successful commencement of petroleum product loading at the Port Harcourt refinery. In a statement following the announcement of the refinery's resumed operations, Akpodoro described President Tinubu as a jinx breaker who has achieved what previous administration could not. He expressed optimism that with the refinery's operation at a capacity of 65,000 barrels per day, Nigeria's energy crisis would ease and market forces might drive down fuel prices. The FCT Police Command is deploying additional personnel and equipment for patrols, stop and search operations and surveillance throughout the Federal Capital Territory. A statement issued by SP Josephine Ade, Police Public Relations Officer at FCT Command, says the initiative aims to combat rising incidents of one-chance crimes and car theft. Here will be impounding vehicles without registration numbers with only one plate or using defaced plates. Regulations regarding covered number plates and tinted glasses will also be enforced. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has debunked his death rumors making the rounds on social media, saying he is alive. The ex-president, who wondered why some people would wish him such, says he quickly informed his family members that he is healthy. Obasanjo stated this during the inauguration of the Old Garage Okefia Lameko Dual Carriageway in Oshogbo, Osun State, one of the projects being inaugurated to commemorate the 2nd anniversary of Governor Ademola Adeleke. Kano State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission discovered warehouses where federal government palliative rice of 50 kg are being rebagged. The rice, with the inscription "Not for Sale" and the picture of President Bola Tinubu, were being rebagged around Kano Western Bypass. Muhuyi Rimigado, who led the raiding operation, says about 28 trucks of rice worth more than 1.4 billion naira were uncovered. The Nigeria Data Protection Commission, NDPC, and the National Insurance Commission, NICOM, has signed a memorandum of understanding to strengthen data protection and privacy in the insurance sector. The agreement was signed in Abuja by Dr. Vincent Olatunji, the National Commissioner of the Commission, Olusegun Omoseyin, the Commissioner for Insurance and Chief Executive Officer of NICOM, to formalize the working relationship between both entities. Nigeria Data Protection Commission has been working with NICOM to deepen data protection and privacy into the sector. Edo State Governor Monday Okpebholo has approved free bus services for the people of the state through Edo City Transport Service. The Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Fred Itwa, says the initiative is part of the Okpebholo administration's drive to entrench his policy direction. The free bus service, the government stated, will cover Benin Metropolis and the 3 senatorial districts of the state, intra- and intercity routes, and is part of the governor's commitment to enhance the welfare of all Edo people. Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, has given the Mineral Resources and Environmental Management Committee, also known as MIREMCO, a 90-day ultimatum to improve its performance or face severe sanctions from the federal government. The minister issued the ultimatum at the annual general meeting of the committee. Global Television brings you details. Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, expressed his dissatisfaction with the agency's current performance, emphasizing that it is Mineral Resources and Environmental Management Committee core responsibility to interface between subnationals, local opportunities, operators, and the federal government to minimize cases of conflict.
Section 19, subsection 3G has not been effected by you. And I'm giving you a moratorium of 90 days, within which I will have no more excuses to give to the president. We'll just start the process of reviewing the act and removing this body entirely from the system.
Quoting from the Nigeria Minerals and Mining Act 2007, Section 19, subsection 3G, which makes it mandatory for MIREMCO to act as a liaison between the subnational authorities, the local government, the communities, and the operators. Alake stressed that the provisions of the Act has not been effectively executed by the committee. According to the minister, if the provisions of the Act had been effected by MIREMCO, the spate of interference witnessed by the subnationals in the instance of local governments shutting down mines, making policy pronouncements that are outrightly unconstitutional would have been minimal.
Are supposed to be the first point of contact between the operators and all authorities, local, state, or federal. You are supposed to be the first point of contact if there are any issues. If the states had issues, you are supposed to be the first point of contact because you chairmen are nominated by the state authorities. So it's as if you have gone to sleep.
The minister also charged the chairman to rally their members and improve on their performance, failure of which the federal government will be left with no other option than to act appropriately to restore effective management of the nation's mineral resources and its attendant environmental concerns. Alake assures of periodic engagement with the communities while promising to push for improved funding for the agency in the 2025 fiscal year to bolster its capacity to effectively fulfill its mandate. For Global Television, Queen Agaba reporting. Imo State government has approved the implementation of a 70,000 naira minimum wage for workers in the state. This comes as part of efforts to align with the federal government directive on wage increases and improve workers' welfare. Imo State correspondent Amarachi Ibe has the rest of the story.
Governor Hope Uzodinma has taken a significant step in improving the welfare of Imo State workers by approving the payment of 70,000 naira as a new minimum wage. The decision followed the recommendation of a committee comprising representatives from the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC), the Trade Union Congress (TUC), and other labor unions in the state. Speaking during a meeting with union leaders, the governor noted that the consolidated salary earners already on 70,000 naira would receive an additional 10% increment.
Our decision to implement the new minimum wage of 70,000 naira, and in addition, having discovered that those on consolidated salary package are all above 70,000 naira. We approved a 10% increase to their salary package.
Governor Hope Uzodinma also approved the implementation of promotions for state workers and announced a raise in pension allowance for retirees along with their inclusion in the state free health care insurance scheme.
Approved the immediate implementation of financial effect for all promotions that were carried out recently. And we promise to review pension allowances as soon as we conclude the audit. We are committed to making sure our workers are happy and our pensioners who born to their youth serving Imo State are adequately rewarded.
Labour leaders in the state expressed their gratitude to the governor. The chairman of NLC in Imo State praised the administration's commitment and assured workers' dedication in return.
I want to sincerely appreciate you. I want to say God bless you. The workers of Imo State, well, thank you. We appreciate you. We will show you that we love you. Not that you are sure that they are going to implement the 70,000 minimum wage. You also added a lot of legit into it.
The signing of the 70,000 naira minimum wage into law marks a significant milestone in Governor Hope Uzodinma's administration, demonstrating his dedication to enhancing the life of Imo State workers. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
Chairman of the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, ASUP, Kaduna Polytechnic Chapter, Abubakar Abdullah, says the union will shut down all polytechnics nationwide by December 2nd due to the federal government's failure to meet its members' demands. He noted that the government had failed to address the issues. According to him, on October 6, 2024, the union leadership issued a 15-day ultimatum to the federal government outlining pressing demands aimed at resolving the systematic challenges that hinder the progress of polytechnics. Speaking at a news briefing in Kaduna, the chairman listed some of the demands to include swift release of the second tranche of the Needs Assessment Intervention Fund, immediate implementation of the approved 25/35% salary review across all public polytechnics, and the payment of accrued arrears. You're watching News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. When News Express returns, more than 20 states to government's benefit from approved $500 million World Bank loan. Details of this, as well as business and foreign stories, coming right after this break. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. If you've just joined us, this is Global Television bringing you a live broadcast of the News Express. In business, after 7 postponements, the Port Harcourt Refinery Company the Port Harcourt Refinery Company has commenced fuel production, promising a daily supply of about 200 trucks as about 1 million litres of refined products were released by the plant. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited unveiled the refinery, saying the old facility, which has a capacity of 60,000 barrels per day, had been revamped and upgraded with modern equipment. It says the newly rehabilitated complex of the old Port Harcourt refinery is currently operating at a refining capacity of 70% of its installed capacity. The Nigerian Navy says a total of 8.1 million barrels of stolen crude oil, 86,500 metric tons of illegally refined automotive gas oil, popularly called diesel, have been recovered by the operatives of the service in various operations in the last 4 years. The Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, revealed the figures while briefing journalists on the activities of the service in Abuja. Kikialoma Okere has details.
The Chief of the Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, who was represented by the Chief of Training and Operations, Rear Admiral Olusegun Ferreira, says troops arrested 181 speedboats, 1,453 wooden boats laden with stolen products, 118 vehicles, and destroyed 8,790 storage tanks. It further reveals that a total of 392 suspected oil thieves have been arrested and 122 barges and deactivated 1,528 illegal refining sites also have been destroyed within the period under review.
This period, the Nigerian Navy also deactivated over 1,528 illegal refining sites and 8,790 storage tanks, and arrested 392 suspected oil thieves. The suspects were handed over to relevant law enforcement agencies for further investigation and prosecution.
He says, despite the sterling performances, there have been misinterpretation in certain quarters aimed at tarnishing the image of the Nigerian Navy. The Chief of Training and Operations says the misinterpretation are peddled by mischief makers whose freedom of action in oil theft have been severely degraded by the Nigerian Navy. He reiterated the Nigerian Navy's commitment to several strategic initiatives such as presidential crude oil barging regime.
However, some unpatriotic elements are determined to plunder the country's oil resources for personal gains through oil theft and other acts of economic sabotage. Over the years, the Nigerian Navy employs measures to address the scourge of oil theft. In this regard, the Nigerian Navy conducts anti-oil theft, anti-piracy, anti-smuggling, and anti-illegal fishing operations, amongst other functions. Anti-oil theft operations remain the Navy's most critical function due to the contribution of oil revenue to Nigeria's economic survival.
Ferreira also stressed the Nigerian Navy's commitment to transparency, working with other regulators in the monitoring and enforcement of approval granted to operators to lift crude oil and other refined products. He says this enables the Nigerian Navy to ensure compliance for legitimate upstream and downstream operations on behalf of the regulators. Kike Lomo Okere, Global Television News.
The chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, Zak Adedeji, has stated that it is seeking to bring more people into its tax net to solve the revenue problem plaguing the country. Adedeji, who was speaking at the second annual national dialogue of the NPO reports in Abuja, says the service is not looking to increase the tax payable. Adedeji, represented by the Director, Intergovernmental Affairs, Umaru Ahmed Idris, says the country is having an infrastructural deficit across all sectors, which needs intervention, but the government can't do that with the current level of revenue streams. The chairman expressed optimism that all critical government revenue generation agencies will surpass their revenue targets before the end of the year. Managing Director of Cross River State Tourism Bureau, Prince Ekpeyong Ojoy, says 2 private sector operators have established thriving businesses in the famous Marina Resort. He says these investments came in within the little over 1-year tenure of Governor Bassey Otu's government, adding that they are worth over 8 billion naira. Speaking to reporters in Calabar when Cool Turama Entertainment reviewed programs towards staging a food festival, Ojoy said the 2 investments have helped further to enliven the resort through promotion of local cultures and engagement of several workers. No fewer than 25 state governments will be beneficiaries of the newly approved $500 million World Bank loan to improve water resource management for hydropower and irrigation. This was as the federal government, through the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation and the Ministry of Power, signed a memorandum of understanding with the World Bank for the implementation of the Sustainable Power and Irrigation for Nigeria project. The signing ceremony was attended by the Minister of Water Resources and Sanitation, Professor Joseph Usef, and the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu. Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, has called on Lagos State to take the lead in expanding Nigeria's economic base, emphasizing the state's unique role as a driver of the nation's economic growth. Speaking at the two-day Eco Revenue Plus Summit themed Unlocking New Revenue Streams for Lagos State, Edun, who was represented by the Chief Executive Officer of Nigeria's Ministry of Finance, Incorporated, Dr. Armstrong Takang, stressed the need for Lagos to adopt innovative strategies that go beyond traditional tax compliance measures. The minister urged the states to focus on policies that would expand its economic base rather than solely relying on tax revenues. On the foreign scene, China and Mexico lashed out after President-elect Donald Trump threatened to begin his presidency with an immediate trade war against the top three United States economic partners. Trump made his threat in social media posts announcing huge import tariff against neighbors, Canada and Mexico, and also rival China if they don't stop illegal immigration and drug smuggling into the U.S. China stated that no one will win a trade war, while Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum warned that for every tariff there will be a response in kind. Police say 6 people have been arrested in London for suspected activity linked to the proscribed Kurdistan Workers' Party, PKK, as part of a significant counter-terrorism policing operation. 2 women and 4 men were detained under the Terrorism Act 2000, the Metropolitan Police say, but there is not believed to be any imminent threat to the public linked to the probe. The PKK is a separatist movement seeking an independent Kurdish state in southern Turkey. It is banned under British law and is also considered a terrorist group in Turkey, the United States, and the European Union. In sports, the highly anticipated 2024 Abuja Carnival Polo Tournament is set to kick off in grand style during the first week of December, running through to the 3rd week at its iconic venue, the Gats Polo Resort in Asokoro. Unlike previous editions, this year's Carnival Polo Fiesta will be an exclusive affair featuring only Abuja-based teams and horses in a thrilling local derby. The competition will see these teams battling fiercely for 4 major trophies and several subsidiary prizes, ensuring an exciting spectacle for fans. The tournament's centerpiece is the prestigious President's Cup, with other coveted prizes including the FCT Minister's Cup and the Guards Brigade Challenge Trophy. 2 Super Eagles strikers are on Manchester United's 4-man shortlist to improve their goal scoring under new head coach Ruben Amorim. The Red Devils have scored only 13 times in 12 Premier League matches played so far. According to Sky Germany, Eintracht Frankfurt forward Omar Mamouche and Galatasaray's Victor Osimhen are the leading contenders for a move to Old Trafford. As we end the News Express on Global Television, here is a summary of some of our big stories. Former Governor of Kogi State, Yaya Bello, has been remanded in the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, following his arraignment for alleged money laundering allegations. No fewer than 25 state governments will be beneficiaries of the newly approved $500 million World Bank loan to improve water resource management for hydropower and irrigation. 6 people have been arrested in London for suspected activity linked to the proscribed Kurdistan Workers' Party, PPK, as part of authorities call a significant counter-terrorism policing operation. And finally, in sports, we told you 2 Super Eagles strikers are on Manchester United's 4-man shortlist to improve their goal scoring under new head coach Ruben Amorim. And that's it on the News Express, and it came to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276, and free to air on NigeGamesat. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @GlobalTVNG and other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching and see you again.
Yeah.